Welcome back to The Real Edit.
I'm Amy.
And I'm Aimee.
And we're here with your weekly dose of content creation, building a business and trying to stay sane while doing it.
It's a safe space where we share a glimpse into our lives, part pep talk, part therapy, and just enough oversharing to keep it interesting.
Wherever this episode finds you, we're so glad you're here.
You're right on time, so let's catch up. Welcome back to The Real Edit. Thank you so much for joining us again. We hope you've had a gorgeous week. We are back with another solo episode. I was going to say sadly, but it's not sad, but last week's episode was so good.
Did you just hear my door slam? My door just slammed itself.
Is there a ghost?
Oh, sorry,
do they
that
want to
gave
be
me
the
a little
guest on
fright.
the podcast?
Oh no, we've got a
No,
spirit.
don't, because I can see your door on
Whoa.
FaceTime, and if something comes through that door, I'm gone.
It was the internal door to the bedrooms.
That's terrifying.
It's because my window's open. Maybe I should go and shut the window. So, mind you, it's
I
slammed
was
now,
going
so
to
it's
say
done.
the job's done, so it's fine.
Question is, did they lock themselves
In
in,
or out?
or did they lock themselves out?
Well, I'll let you know if I see anyone, so...
Show yourself if you'd like to start UGC.
So maybe I should thank the ghost because it distracted from the fact that I said it was sad that we're back on our own. It's not sad that we're back on our own. We're very happy to be back speaking to each other. So we've got a really good episode for you. And I'm really excited because I feel like it's going to be really beneficial.
So if you remember back to episode one of the things we were talking about was the fact that in the space of just a few days, we'd seen quite a few creators posting about no longer starting UGC or no longer carrying on with UGC because it was all a little bit more difficult and a little bit different to kind of what they expected based on videos they'd seen online and kind of their expectations around UGC before they started. And so we thought it would be really cool to have create a bit of a resource here and chat about the realities of UGC, what it actually is, so that if you're thinking of starting, if your friends thinking of starting, if you've just started and you're finding it a little bit challenging and you're not really sure, you're kind of not sure where you stand or if this is normal or whatever, that you'd have a kind of one-stop shop resource to come to for a little bit of honesty, reassurance, maybe guidance. We just thought it would be a really handy resource to create. So that's what we are talking about on today's episode. But before we get into any of that, Ames, how's your week been?
My week has been very busy, actually. If you can hear snoring, it's not me. It is. I have a very needy pug next to me, and I know we were saying that this season of the podcast was going to be so much more professional, but it's out of my hands. She snores, and I can't help that. She's needy. I've had a really busy week, actually. What did I do? I feel like it was so full on. So I had a few videos to film. I had a wedding, so obviously I had the preparation leading up to the wedding as well. You know how it is as a female, like you got a fake tan, do your nails, like all this stuff scheduled in before. I had work for a social media client as well. Like it's just been very go, 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 go. I also cleaned my nan and my grandma's house. So just have the goodness of my heart.
You saint.
I know.
You
yeah, but
saint.
that fell last week. So I do it like every 2 weeks. So that fell last week, and it was just happened to be when I was really busy as well. So lots of cleaning, lots of socialising, lots of working, and I feel like I'm at my limit. No, it's been
It's been really
one
of the days Amy voice noted me or messaged me, and she was like, I've got up and I've done some work, and now I'm colouring and I'm going for a walk. And like, if you know Amy, the colouring book and the walk is like her two favourite things for her sanity. So I was literally like, perfect, understood.
Yeah, that's how I ended the stressful period, and it was the perfect way to end it. So yeah, how about you?
I love that. Yeah, kind of similar. Like, I've been super busy. I've been here, there and everywhere. I been a pretty normal work week, shot some videos. Normal work week. And then also had Ascot races with the girls, which was so fun. And like you said before, an event, like dress tailored, haircut, like all of these different things going on. Luna needs to go to the vet because we've had a couple of issues with Prunies, so we need to go and get her checked out, her little back. She's a little sausage, and they're really vulnerable to back issues. So we need to go and check her out and make sure that we're not spotting some early warning signs. So that's going on, which is a little bit stressful. And then my sister has been going through interviews because she was recently made redundant, so I've been helping her with some interview prep. And it's just been like a really busy, like really mixed week. Like, you know, I've just been in the car and like back and forth all over the place. I think we both have. I don't think we've ever spoken less than we did this week, because we just have been like ships in the night. So I'm looking forward to like a period of chill over the next few days and a bit of catch up, because I'm definitely behind on a few things work wise that I would ideally like to be a little bit further along with. But yeah, try not to panic, because I am a bit of a panicker. So yeah, and you know what? I have eaten so much crappy food this week. I've had a really bad food week, so I'm just feeling a bit bleh. So I'm just looking forward. I just need a couple of days of like reset, get on top of the house, catch up with emails, cook some healthy food, you know, get some fresh air. That's what I need. So but yeah, apart from that, I'm all good. I'm all gravy. So Ames, obviously it was you who came up with this idea, because you saw quite a few videos kind of in a very short space of time from various creators in the space who were relatively new and inexperienced, basically saying they were quitting. And you said that in the videos they kind of said about how it wasn't quite what they expected. What was kind of the vibe from those videos? What were they saying?
I think the overall thing was just that it was made to look so much easier than it is, which I think is why it's like so important that we're doing this episode, because I do think there's a lot of, I was going to say false information. It's not necessarily false information. It's just they leave out the hard parts. And like, just we're not here to put you off in any way, shape or form. We just want to see everyone succeed. So we kind of want to prepare and make sure that you're like the most equipped you could be if you're going to start on this journey. But to be fair, it wasn't even just newbies that were, I think it was, one of them was like, they'd been doing it for like maybe 4 or 5 months. And it was just like, they thought it would get easier, but it didn't. So I just kind of think it is down to the same thing of just like not having the correct information before starting. I think social media just makes UGC to look so easy. Like, it's just like film yourself, post it, get paid. But in reality, like, it's so much more than that.
Yeah. And I think as well, like, we're not trying to bash anyone, and we're not trying to, like you said, scare people off. Like, start it 100%, but start it with your eyes wide open, and have really fair, realistic expectations, so that you don't feel like a failure when you're, you know, a month in and various things aren't happening, or certain things are happening. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's have a really open dialogue, so you can have absolute clarity on what to expect, and you can feel supported, and so you know exactly what you're in for. I think the biggest problem I see is that UGC is made out, and you said just a second ago, like, social media makes UGC look really easy. Social media makes everything look easy. You know, a weight loss is the 6 to 12 month weight loss journey is whittled down to a 10-second transformation transition video. You know, everything is instant and is made to look really easy, really glamorous on social media. And the reality is, like, bottom line, UGC, as fun as it is, as creative as it is, you're running a business. Like, since when is running a business easy? Since when does running a business start or kind of go fantastic from day dot? You know, it's a process. There's lots to learn. You might be a really great creator, but doesn't mean you're a great business person. In which case you're probably not going to succeed in this. But like, there's so much to talk about with this topic, and I just think it's really important to have a very honest conversation about what you're in for, what you need to prepare yourself for, what to expect, etc., etc.
Yeah. I feel like maybe we start with the myth versus the reality. Like, I think the myth is that it is made to be easy, when actually there's pitching, there's rejection, there's comparison, there's brand briefs, there's deadlines, negotiation. There's probably more that you can add on.
Well, I remember the worst video I ever saw was a UGC creator who posted what you need to start UGC. Like a I don't know if I think it was like a static post, I can't remember, but anyway, they said what you need to start UGC: a phone and a window. And I get the point. Natural light and a phone camera, I get the point, I do. In order to make high quality content, let's just address the elephant in the room. You need to be able to afford an iPhone, realistically. That in itself is a barrier to entry to some people. Like, I think we really need to start being a little bit more sensitive and a little bit more tactful in our conversation on that. an iPhone is expensive. Not everyone can afford to do that. So that's number one. So all you need, that comes from someone who probably has had an iPhone maybe all their life, or certainly has an iPhone now. So if you don't have one of those, you're going to want to get them. Number two, a window. Yeah, natural light's great. I live in the UK, don't know about you. Where I am, it's not always, natural light isn't always going to cut it. So actually, you're going to need probably some lighting at some point. Or you're going to need to live in a nice, bright house. You know, like there's so much privilege in the ability to be able to say, just a phone in a window. There's so much unspoken privilege there. And I don't for one second think it was an intentional, like, horrible post. I'm just saying you can whittle it down to feel so simple. The reality is so different. If you've got a dark house and you haven't got an iPhone, it's not quite as simple. And I think that actually a lot of what you need to do UGC comes either from within or is more of the business savvy side of it. It's not the physical equipment, because the tripod I use is pretty cheap. The phone I use is the one I already had. I was fortunate enough I could afford an iPhone. Most of my videos are shot in natural light. I as I say, I get all these points. I think that a lot of the conversation around what you need actually has nothing to do with the camera. It's to do with yourself and your ability to run a business. Does that make sense?
No, I totally agree. I think, like you say, like, you can have a phone in a window and you can create content with that. You just can't necessarily make good content. So it's just down to whether you're going to be successful or not, like how much you actually want to put into it.
And I really hope that I haven't come across as bitchy there, because that's really not my intention. I genuinely do understand the message behind the video. And I also think that there is value in saying to people, like, stop making excuses, stop putting barriers in your way. You've got a phone, you've got a window, shoot some content, have a go. Like, you know, start. So I do think there's real value to that as well. But I just sometimes, or oftentimes, I feel really, I feel a bit embarrassed or like ashamed of when I see videos saying how easy it is, or all you need is this, because I think that's coming from someone who probably doesn't have children, who is of a various, like, is in a various pay bracket, who lives in a certain type of house, who doesn't have caring responsibilities, is physically able, is, do you know what I mean? Who has the time? Because there's so many people out there who would love to do this and could do really, really well, but they've got children, they're working 2 jobs, they've got a parent they need to look after, there's so many reasons why it's just not that blooming simple. And when I see videos go up that are so, like, reductionist, I really just think, oh, you're just alienating so many wonderful people out there who want to sit down and have an honest conversation. Okay, I don't know what this looks like, how can I actually start, what do I need?
I was going to say, actually,
does that make sense?
Like, when you say, like, they put out this content that really reduces what we do, it's like belittling our businesses, if that makes sense. Like, we do work really hard, we do put all of this work in behind the scenes, and I think all these posts that are like, it's so easy, like, anyone can do it, all you need is this, like, a phone, that's it. It's like, well, actually, like, I mean, personally, like, sorry, I've invested money into some equipment, not that it's all necessary, but, like, I have invested money, I've invested a lot of time, I've invested a lot of mental strain over the years. Like, there is so much that goes into it, and I just think, like, I feel like as well, like, when it comes to explaining to other people what you do, if you're like, oh, I do UGC, I feel like if they've seen it online, they'd be like, oh, you've got an easy job, you know?
And I do think it's not. It's so much more than meets the eye. What I would say is, we are for not a single second are we sat here saying UGC is, you know, really difficult. You know, working 14-hour shifts on a hospital, like in A&E, that's difficult. You know, saving lives. This is not. You know, that's not what we're doing here. I'm not for one second saying my job is really hard. And actually, compared to the job that I did previous to this in corporate, like, I work so much less. It is less difficult. I am so aware of the beautiful position I'm in and of the flexibility and all of the amazing things about this job. But if we're talking strictly about the way this job is perceived online, it is massively under-egged, if you like. It is so much more, you know, and I've done this before, I've made videos, and I still do. I say to people, I make silly little videos on the internet. I do. But don't mistake it that anyone can do it. Because let's be really clear, like for me, or for you, where we are creative, we've done this sort of thing before, we're good at using our editing tools, stuff like that, we're practiced at it. It is easy to make and edit a video. If you're not that way inclined, this is the worst job in the world. In the same way that if you put me in front of a spreadsheet of numbers, watch me freeze. Like put my friend's a project manager. When I see her like dashboard of everything she's juggling, I'm like, that would send me into a panic attack. Not everyone can do every job.
Yeah.
And so if you're not this way inclined, UGC is going to be an absolute nightmare for you.
Yeah. A big part. Oops. A big part for me, like, aside from all the physical stuff of like what you need and everything like that, I think also like the emotional side is not spoken about enough. Like there's so much, I mean, it's natural in the social media space, but there is so much comparison, imposter syndrome, anxiety, like the risk of burnout. But it's like, I don't ever see that discussed. Like, for example, like burnout, it's kind of like, oh, well, you're doing an easy job, so how are you burnt out from it? And I think, like, me personally, I've always struggled with comparison and imposter syndrome and things like that. So the fact I've put myself in a job like this, I'm not really sure why. But I'm learning to work with it. And I think if you are a person that does really struggle mentally and like with any of those things, like this is something to really weigh up, I think, before starting, because it is one of the toughest things in my opinion.
I think running a business, you know, there's always going to be an element of comparison, burnout. I think the added complexity of an industry like UGC is that you're chronically online, whether it's scrolling for inspiration, whether it's because you're actively posting on your socials, growing your following, engaging with comments, whether it's because your ads are coming up, you're reading, you are chronically online. And as we've said in a previous episode in season 1, I remember us saying one of the big problems with UGC is that your phone is both work and leisure. You know, who doesn't doom scroll, you know, after work, or, you know, I don't know, when you get out of the shower and you sit on your bed in your towel for 20 minutes and you just scroll on TikTok. When you get into bed, like, who doesn't do that anyway? Then add in the fact that actually your job is to be doing that to some degree throughout the day. Like, your screen time is mad. I just think it is a absolute pressure cooker for all of the negative sides of social media to take hold of you. Yeah, I think as well, like, because we are running businesses obviously, but like the difference with running like a business for a product, for example, is like you can compare like your product or compare your success to another product, but in UGC you're comparing yourself. It's like your personal being, like how you are on camera. Like I had my first ad get millions of views and I got a lot of hate comments, and I said to Aimee, I was like, I've got hate comments. She was like, who doesn't? Yeah,
like,
good. That means it.
It's so like this. You just got to get on with it. I was like, I've made it. I can't pop to the shops anymore, you know?
Yeah, you just become acutely aware that everyone's looking at you, judging you. It's just a lot. And if you're really vulnerable to that, you've got to consider if that, like, it's the same way as if you're talking about being an influencer, you know, you've got to have a thick skin, or I don't think I could handle the comment. You've got to think about that sort of thing too. I also think, and this is something that I don't think we really talk about very much, is that it's actually a really lonely job. Because especially if you're like me and you live alone, you and you know, I've been single for a long time, there's no one. It's you in a silent house talking to yourself, taking product shots of a toothpaste. It's really lonely, and you have to be so proactive and mindful about your time to say, okay, what are my filming days? What am I doing on the other days or at the other times to make sure I'm out with people, I am socializing, I am seeing friends, I am keeping busy, because it's so easy to just, it can be so miserable.
Yeah, an aspect that's probably not even thought about is actually being lonely when you do live with someone or live with friends or anything like that, because like I've experienced firsthand, it's like it is an adjustment that needs to be had, because I'm at home all day not talking to anyone, and then like my partner comes home who does sales for a job, so it's a really like socially battery draining job. He gets home and he's like, okay, like I'm done for the day, like silence, chill, and I'm literally like sat there like as excited as Peaches is, like, okay, so how was your day, like talk to me about it, like
yeah, that's so true. Yeah,
and
that's
it is
so
like
interesting.
you kind of have to find the balance there as well, because like it's not his fault that I've chosen a lonely job, you know. So yeah, I think I totally agree with what you've said, and I think actually even people that do live with someone, it is something to think about as well, because it's just an adjustment all around, I think.
Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest misconception that you had before starting UGC?
I think we both started at the same time. I think we both started at a time when it was much easier to start.
Yeah.
Because it was far less saturated. Not that I by any means think it's saturated now, but it was significantly less populated a space. And I also think that, in fact, no, that probably is the end of that sentence. So it's significantly less saturated. But I think it was always, you know, the messaging that I always saw was very much like, if you're good at making videos, or if you're creative, like you can make videos at home and you can sell them to brands, and that is factually correct. However, what wasn't ever stated, or wasn't ever really like, it was never positioned as running a business. Now, obviously, it's obviously running a business. I knew that. I am, however, slightly older and from a corporate background. I've ran businesses before. So obviously I know that. But I do think that if you're maybe not of that background, if this is your first ever job, there are a lot of creators in this industry who have never had quote unquote like traditional, proper, as some people would call it, job, who haven't you know, haven't worked in a professional environment before. And so I think, you know, you might be the best content creator in the world, but if you don't know how to run a business, you're not going to succeed. So I think the biggest misconception is if you are creative and you can make good videos, you can succeed.
Yeah.
It's never, if you're creative and you're business savvy, you can monetize that. That's a business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I just think you got to be, I just think, people are like, is it really that simple? And you're like, I speak to a lot of people. In fact, you'll probably be able to back this. We have conversations, right, where we, you know, how should I deal with this? I think that a lot of my successes come from the way I run the business.
Yeah.
I don't think it's because I am the best creator out there. I don't think I've got the fastest turnaround times. I don't think I've got the most original ideas. I think I am business minded.
Yeah.
And that is how, I mean, there's been a handful of things we've done together, right? Where it's like, you just handle it a certain way.
Yeah.
And you get X, Y, Z out of it. Like,
Yeah. Taking into account everything we've just said, I feel like we should agree on who actually succeeds in UGC. Like, what do we need to embody to
like a checklist.
Actually be successful? Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I've already made my position quite clear. Like, you have to be business minded. I don't think a successful person has any one look about them, because I think that, as is the case with influencers, for example, it's your uniqueness that actually sells you. But I do unfortunately think that human nature, the way the world works, brands want a certain something. Let's be really honest. You know, you need to present yourself a certain way. You need to talk well. You know, if you've got great hair, you're going to get more hair briefs. If you've got good teeth, you're going to get more teeth briefs. If you've got an aesthetic home, you're going to get more briefs. So I don't think it's a barrier to entry, but it's definitely, unfortunately, and it's a bit of a taboo topic, but it's just the unfortunate reality of the world. You know, these things help. They really help. But I think actually, if you can sell yourself, if you've got a cracking personality and you can create great content that shows your authentic self, and you're business minded, you're onto a winner.
I do agree. I would say resilience as well. Like, I feel like you really need to like be able to handle rejection and like move forward after receiving feedback on something that you might have been really proud of, but they might have been like, oh, could you just tweak this one thing? And without giving up, you just get on with it, and like it's nothing personal.
Or you get ghosted.
You know, being really resilient. Yeah, exactly. And also just like being really willing to show up, because you do have to put yourself out there. You do have to sell yourself. You have to be present in order to succeed.
Yeah.
You do.
And like, there's a prime example. Like we've had this conversation before on the podcast, right? Like, you know, doesn't it cringe you out? You know, what about other people see it? You know, yeah, okay. There's an ad right now. It's live in Germany. I know that much. Jemima sent it to me. It's live in Germany. The audio has been made German. Fine. It's me. It's me. Quite a while ago, probably about a year ago. It's no secret. I've lost quite a bit of weight. I look very different in that video. It's also a very skittish video. Like, it's not skittish, that's wrong, like a skit video. It's funny, or at least it's meant to be funny. So, it's live right now. It gives me the heebie-jeebies to see it. But, you know, the life I get for a little bit of cringe, like, it's a personal decision. If someone sees that, am I going to go, oh my God, of all the videos for you to see? Yes. Am I also going to say, would I trade this for the world, like the life I get to live, in it at the cost of being a little bit cringe? No.
I actually saw a video. I can't remember who the creator was, but I was just like, mic drop. So basically, she was in. Oh, who was it? She was in. I want to say she was in Primark. She was out shopping and she was filming herself, and like while she was out, there were two girls following her around, like mimicking what she was saying, like really taking the mick. And she was just like, well, like, I was being paid to shop whilst you're paying for your shopping. I know who I'd rather be. And I was just like, wow, slam dunk it.
Also, yeah.
I can't remember who it was, but it was so good.
That is so good. But also, like, you are not the problem in that scenario. How sad that their friendship is based on mocking other women, monetizing something they love. That's really, really sad. Like, and I love that she turned it into such positive, because a lot of people would really let that not, that's scary. That's not nice. A lot of people would really let that impact them. And I love that she had like
it's the resilience you need.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. The fact is as well, those two girls that were taking the mick are probably going to go home and scroll and watch the content she's making anyway. So.
And do you know what? They would love, they probably have always wanted to make content, because that's the unfortunate reality. Because that's what women that's what we're conditioned to do. Compete, see other women as threats. Sit them down and honestly say, is there any part of you that would love to be an influencer? Oh, I'd love to do that. Yeah. So don't follow her around, making her feel this big because of your insecurity. You know, like I love that she did that. That's really cool. I think also when you ask like, what do you need to succeed, or what does someone who does well in UGC look like? You know, what do they embody? Actually, I think success in itself, you know, there's no one definition. If you're doing it because it allows you to just like flex a passion and have a hobby and do something fun, and it brings you joy, even if you don't monetize it, then that's success. For someone else, for me, it's running a full-time business that pays my mortgage, pays my bills, allows me to invest, allows me to build this life that I want for myself and do X, Y, Z. For someone in the middle, that allows them to do it part-time alongside their job, because they don't get the creativity that they really like crave in the job they do, but they do really enjoy it. But it brings a bit of extra money, and that means they can save a bit more because they're saving for a house deposit, or they're hoping to get that handbag or whatever it is. You know, what success looks different on everyone. So I think also something really crucial to do at the start of your journey, I would say, is actually define what success looks like for you, and set your goals accordingly, because it's really easy to straight away get caught up in, they made this much money, they worked with that many brands. But actually, if your goal was never to make that much money, or that money, your goal was to save up X amount to get that, and you did it, it doesn't matter what that is in comparison to anybody else. And this is why I think that I'm quite good at not comparing myself to others, is because my life that I live and the things that I'm striving for aren't the same as the people on my feed. And I'm really clear about it in my head. Like, that is really cool. They made more money than me this month. They worked with more brands than me this month. I could have done those things. I don't want to. That's not how I want to spend my time. I want to spend it doing X, Y, Z, and I got to do that. And so that is success to me. And I think, when you're starting, be really clear. What does success look like to you right now? And then don't let any outside noise take away from the fact that you are striving for that, you know?
Yeah, No, I completely agree. Success looks different to everyone. So we can say all these things, but really, like, if you actually only want to do it for a hobby, then that can be successful too. So
Yeah, and you don't have to run a 6-figure business
no.
to be successful. And the second that you pull in a single penny of money from monetizing UGC, you're running a successful business. Like, you're running a business.
Yeah.
It's bringing money in.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Like, I hate that people undermine that. That's huge. You've made something out of nothing. Like, you've just generated money out of, I think that's incredible. And I just think we forget sometimes how cool that is. Okay, so we've done a lot of the like fluffy and emotional kind of side of running a business and being a UGC creator, but actually, like, cut to brass tacks. If you are starting UGC today, you're confident you've got all of these skills, all these tools in your tool belt to run a successful business. What 3 things are you gonna buy, invest in, make sure you have to start UGC?
I would say an iPhone if I didn't have one. You do need a laptop or an iPad or something to kind of be able to like effectively email, like manage your, like, I do all my taxes, all of my admin on my laptop. So I think ideally probably a phone, a laptop,
Tripod,
and a tripod, because I think lighting and microphones are something I think to invest in, but I don't think they're a priority in the sense of you do have daylight to use.
They can come after.
They can come later, but I think initially you just need a tripod, a phone, and a laptop to successfully kind of run what you want to do.
The laptop, iPad thing, 100%. Because when you say that, the 3 things you need: a tripod. Okay, my tripod's like 50 quid off Amazon. Still a lot of money to a lot of people. iPhone, huge expense. iPad, laptop, huge expense. Like, let's not undermine, the privilege that comes with it. I'm just really big on that.
Yeah. And moving away from like the physical stuff that you have to buy or invest in, what would you say, like, skill sets that you need, mindset?
Yeah, I mean, we spent
systems in place.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of this already, but in terms of like actual skills, you need to be either competent with navigating social media or have the patience and willingness to learn. Because I think also from a generational point of view, there are creators out there who are older than myself who are less capable. My mum wanted to be a UGC creator, is what I'm really alluding to here. But the main thing that, because she's great at a lot of the things that she would need to be great at to succeed. However, she really isn't used to or kind of competent with social media, and she didn't have the patience or the willingness to really try. So that's a big thing that I think a lot of us,
I think,
who
for
are younger in the
research
space
as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you want to look into how to create like really good content, you need to be able to navigate the different sites and like searching and
be consuming
SEO and all
be
that
consuming
kind of thing.
what brands are putting out right now and what's trending right now and working right now. And in order to do that, you need to be active on social media. That, obviously, you've got to be creative. You're literally creating. You're creating video. Like, you've got to be creative. You've got to be so patient, because you've also need to be competent, or again, willing to learn how to use editing apps and software. You need to be good at writing copy or script. And yes, you've got things like ChatGPT, which are really, really valuable tools to help you do it, but nothing will ever be a human touch. And there are parts of the job that ChatGPT can't get perfect for you.
I do think as well you can tell if a script has been done in ChatGPT a lot of the time.
100%. I think you also need to, I've said you need to be business minded. You need to be able to balance lots of things at once. You need to be able to track lots of things at once and keep things kind of plates spinning all at once. That's a lot. You need to be really professional and able to email professionally, and therefore your spelling needs to be good, or your attention to detail with your spell check. There's so many things. I could talk about this for ages.
The only 2 things that I'd add to that is you need to be able to sell yourself.
Yeah.
You do have to kind of have that inner confidence in yourself to be able to naturally sell yourself, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying you need sales skills, you don't need to have sales experience. You just need to be able to know your worth and like you know, sell yourself in that sense. What was the other thing I was going to say?
Emma also did a really good one. Emma Manley, she said that you need to have like high levels of delulu to do this job, and I think she's so right, because you've got to be like, you've got to have so much self-belief, and you've got to have so much like faith that it's gonna work. Like, I think that just is the same. I think that applies for being self-employed in general. But I really like that idea of delulu, and all of my friends will tell you, I'm very delulu.
You are delulu. I learned this very early on.
Yeah, you did.
The last thing would be like, you need to have basic admin skills.
Yeah, good one.
Like, I guess it kind of comes, like, that's the top umbrella for like things that you said, like copy, briefs, like understanding briefs, like being able to actually read the documents and work out what they're asking you to do, like the logistics of, like, for example, like there are some platforms that have really complicated briefs. Even I get overwhelmed by them, and you do need to kind of have that mindset that you can understand the document in front of you. As stupid as that sounds.
And I think that's where the attention to detail really comes in. Like, you need to be able to be picking up details in the brief. You need to be picking up details in the videos. You need to be watching videos for inspiration or whatever, and saying, I love the nuance of this, or you need to have a real, and the patience that takes as well. And you've either got that attention to detail or you don't. I would say that. I don't know, maybe people disagree. I do think it's a bit of a you either have it or you don't.
And I guess like tracking expenses, tax, even things like pitching, you need to track it, like just to stay on top of it. Deadlines, deliverables, like you do still have to work to deadlines. So if you lose track of something, then like a brand might not want to work with you again. It's just like little things, like just like basic admin skills, I suppose.
Also, we haven't even spoken about, like, you have to be comfortable talking to a camera. Like that's, and I think that actually sums up, that's actually a really good way of demonstrating what we're trying to say in this podcast episode, which is that, like, the fact that the talking to the camera bit was the last thing I've even thought of here shows you how much goes into running a UGC business that isn't to do with the glamorous videos you see on the internet. But you have to be willing and able to talk to a camera, to, you know, try and sound natural, to remember a script.
To the camera, but
to remember a script, to remember lines. To do natural sounding voiceovers, to like that's a huge part of it. We haven't mentioned it.
That's such a good point. So I feel like that would have been the first thing to come to someone else's mind without the business aspect behind it. It just shows how much there is actually that we have to do, as well as being like being on camera is just the bare minimum, I suppose. It's not even talking to the camera, it's just like being present and being able to be comfortable on camera. Like my mum, for example, she hates being on camera, but she has all the business skills. So if she isn't comfortable with that part, it's just not going to work.
100%. But also, she could practice and learn to get better on a camera. The business skills that's a much greater set of skills to have that will get you further than someone who maybe is fantastic on camera but hasn't got a Scooby-Doo about the business side, or maybe isn't naturally business minded. Like I just think it's a really interesting conversation to have. I think the only other thing I would add is professionalism. Just because you are running a business from your pajamas in your bed, as I often am, doesn't mean that the people you're dealing with are. You're working with really big brands. Your emails need to be sharp. Your communication needs to be polite, professional, concise. And I've actually spoken to a handful of brand owners. We've had calls about various bits and pieces, and I've had a few comments from them saying that they've got real different experiences working with different creators. Basically saying, like, you've got this side of the fence where we're uber professional, sharp, boom, the business. You've all the business people. You've also got the other side of the spectrum where we're not respecting deadlines. We're not writing professional emails. I'm not also, the Yasmin edit made a point the other day on her story saying, actually she tries to make her emails as like chatty and friendly and like less professional. And I don't mean to say that that's a bad thing. That I think that's really good. You need to find that like really nice balance of sharp professional, but also like human.
Yeah.
That's great. Love that. I'm talking about other end of the spectrum, of there just being no professionalism in there at all.
Yeah. Saying that, I
A
actually,
big one.
after seeing Yaz's story, I actually inputted that into a pitch I was doing, and it worked. So, but I did have that like you say, a professional structure behind it, and then I was just like, I'm just gonna make it like as if we're friends, and then but still professional, and it did work. So yeah, I think you're right.
Well, we're all humans at the end of the day, aren't we? We're just
You don't
sat
wanna
at a
be talking
desk
to
or
a
sat at a
robot.
laptop. Yeah, doing a job to fundamentally pay the bills. You know, I know you can love your job and you can have a passion, and that's great, but most of us are there for the money. And we don't want to, life's hard, you know, we just want to have a nice chat with someone. I'll do my job, you do yours, everybody's happy, we all go home. Like, and so I think the more you can just make it a pleasant experience for everyone, like, the better.
Yeah, as much as we've made out like how to be successful and things like that, I think there are some harsh truths when it comes to UGC. And if you are starting out in your UGC business, I feel like I hope this would be valuable information to know. So I think maybe we should just cover a couple of harsh truths that maybe we've learnt.
Yeah, like the ugly parts of the job that you need to be ready to expect.
Yeah, I feel like social media is made to be so like glamorous and beautiful and perfectly put together. So let's just talk about the ugly side for a little while. And I feel like there's no one who is more passionate that could give us the ugly truths than Aimee. Kick it off.
You're going to get rejected. It's inevitable. It's not personal. It's going to hurt. You're going to get your hopes up. You're going to get a project so close to getting across the line and you're never going to hear from them again. You're going to be rejected. You're going to put yourself out there for opportunities. You're going to be sold a dream. It's going to be swept away from you at the last minute. It is inevitable. Do not get your hopes up with anything until something is signed.
I also don't tell anyone anything anymore, like before it's signed on the dotted line, because
you don't even tell me. That hurt.
No.
But I get it. But you were like, I can't. It's not signed yet. And I was
going to say, I still told you, but it was once I'd signed the contract.
No, you didn't. You said, I was like, yeah.
Because I said to her, I was like, you can guess the brand if you want, but I'm not going to tell you. And then she like went through all these things.
Was it the first?
Yeah, it was your first guess.
Brand, I guess.
And I was just like, I'm not going to tell you. And then as soon as I signed, I was like, right, so this is what it was.
I love that. That's so funny.
Yeah.
You're going to get rejected. Rejection is absolutely inevitable, and it's not a reflection of you. And anyone who tells you they haven't been rejected before, quite frankly, is lying or has a madly abnormal experience. Like that is not normal. Everyone gets rejected.
Like I've had literal like brand deals right on the edge of signing a contract and then just never heard from them again. So it's just is what it is. You can't control it.
Next ugly truth,
I'd say you're probably going to be underpaid in the beginning. Or even, to be fair, like further into your journey, like brands will try and underpay you. So it's just up to you whether you accept that or not. That, and like one harsh truth, this is one that I'm really passionate about. So I'm fiddling down here because I'm like, I can't be mean to anyone. I would say gifted collaborations aren't going to benefit you down the line. They're going to help get names on your portfolio in the beginning. But I do think you should really limit the amount that you do, purely for the fact of like, you don't want to get into this routine of just gifted after gifted after gifted after gifted if you want to be successful. If you just want the products and you're happy to make content for that, then fine. But I just think, like we've spoken about it in season 1, like you do have to pay tax on them. So you do have to weigh up whether that's actually worth it for you. I would actually say that gifted actually isn't as great as it's made out to be.
I think as well, it's really difficult to transition from gifted to not. When you say to a brand, yes, I'm willing to do it for free, great, you're being flexible, great, you're building a portfolio, yes to all of those things. What does that tell the brand? It tells the brand you're not busy. You need the experience. It paints a whole picture of who you are and what your business is. To then turn around the next time and say £250, please. Really difficult. You can turn around and say, I did it for free the first time, so it's only, as discussed, that was for our first collaboration, but now I'm going to pay. But what have you actually already said about yourself? You've already revealed your hand. And I do also think you shouldn't be charging £250 if you're a brand new creator and you haven't got the skills. I don't. But but I do feel very strongly that gifted is really, really problematic in so many ways. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
A really, really tricky conversation to have, because also so different from when we started.
Yeah.
I never accepted a single gifted collab when I started.
Yeah.
Not one. My first ever brand deal was 3 figures. Like, that doesn't always happen now, because it's a very, very different industry. It's evolved.
Yeah, and I actually
so it's not even bragging, it was just different times.
Yeah, I think that's actually part of the problem though as well. I think just because like gifting has almost spiraled in that now that is the expected way to collaborate. Do you know what I mean? Like, as in the sense like brands are expecting gifted because so many people are then offering that, and it just kind of jeopardizes it down the line for everyone. Because like
I said this to you today, didn't I? All of my inbounds at the moment are gifted, all of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Not all of them, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's mad. Every day they're coming in. I'm like, are you joking?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even reply to them anymore.
Yeah. So I do think you really have to weigh up if gifted is worth it for you. Like, if you're doing it for like personal reasons, you want the product or whatever, then you do you. But I do think
be very strategic.
Yeah, I do think
who you do it with and how long you do it for.
Yeah, and it is kind of like you say, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot a little bit, because I've seen some creators post on their close friends and stuff to say like, oh, well, I worked with this brand as gifted for our first collaboration, and now they're not accepting my rate.
Of course they're not.
And it's like, well, you gave them the work for free, so
they were never going to. They were never going to.
Yeah.
And you would have done better, in my opinion. And what I would do is I would be charging them a significantly discounted rate.
Yeah.
Before I ever offered them gifted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you've revealed your hand.
Yeah, and there's so many creators now as well. Like, if you then don't want to accept gifted, they'll just try someone else because someone else probably will.
Of course, yeah.
And that's
100%.
where UGC is at the moment, which is a little bit frustrating. Which kind of leads me on to the next thing I'd say is a harsh truth, would be that UGC itself is not oversaturated. Like, there's so many brands out there. Forever there's new brands every day, just like there's new creators every day. So there are so many more opportunities. However, I would say some niches are
more saturated than others.
Yeah. But I guess it depends what kind of niche. Like, me and you don't niche down, really. We have a kind of a theme to our content,
I think we naturally,
But I think that would be kind of one of those things when people tell you to niche down. If you do that, and you do choose a niche that is oversaturated, you are going to jeopardise opportunities.
Again, be strategic.
Yeah.
You know? What do I bring to the table?
Yeah.
What can I tap into that less people can?
Yeah.
And that's where you have to be. You can be really clever, and you can make huge opportunities for yourself. But you have to have that. For. Sight. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Another harsh truth.
We're just rolling them out now.
But it's like, I think it's like a classic, like, it's not killing with kindness because I'm not trying to kill anyone, but I'm trying to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to. What's that trend? Things I would say to you if I wasn't afraid of hurting your feelings.
Yeah.
It's a bit like that. Maybe that's what our episode should be called. Things we would tell you if we weren't afraid of hurting your feelings.
Yeah.
Maybe that's quite good. I'm telling you this because
we want you to succeed
you need
at
to
the
know
end
it
of the day.
in order to do the best. I also don't want anyone wasting their time, feeling like a failure and then quitting. Like, I don't know. I just I think it's all with really good intention. But another big one for me would be and I said this before and I'll say it again, be careful who you idolize in the space. Yeah. Take everything with a pinch of salt. Even your favorite creators, even people who are quote unquote the most successful, how do I even word it? Their job is to sell you something. Yeah. Whether it's selling you their own success story, whether it's selling you their guide, whether it could be anything. Whether it's selling you their story so they get a follow out of you. Like, just be. And the only reason I say be careful is not because I think there's people. I'm not saying these are bad people. I'm saying. Where comparison is such a big part of this job, be really careful with your approach to. I just think it's unfortunately, I think it's part of social media now, and it's a generational thing that we do tend to put people on pedestals.
Yeah.
And be careful who you put on them, because they have to have earned a spot. And yeah, I'd say it's true all the time, don't you? It's not that I don't think those people are doing great. It's not that I don't love their content. It's not that it's nothing to do with them. But take them off that pedestal and stop comparing yourself to what you think their story is or their reality is. You don't know. The only way you could know is if you were sat looking at their bank account, looking at their tracking sheet, having the conversation, if you were them.
Yeah.
It's the only way you can know what the reality is. And so, for God's sake, be careful how you, you know, how you interact with your favourite creators or the most successful creators, or whatever you want to call it. The only other thing I would say is you've got to be thinking long term in everything you do. You always need to be like horizon scanning for opportunities, for, like we talked about earlier with the gifted collab idea. What does that mean? How does that play out X many months down the line? What does that mean for my business growth? What is my next step? When does that step happen? You always, it's like my mum always said, you're not driving here, you're driving 5 cars in front, because when he brakes, you need to know you can't wait for the one to brake in front of you. You haven't got enough time. So you've got to be 5 cars ahead at all time. Like, I really, I feel that you need to always be, playing the long game.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
If you're running it, if your goal is big cash money, no, I'm joking. If your goal is to run it as a business from day one and to make a full-time income and to grow something like a substantial business from it, then that's crucial, I would say. Honestly, I think we could talk about this for hours. Like, there's so many things you could bring into this, but I think it would be like a 2-hour long episode. I guess the base, the fundamental point of this episode is there is so much more to this, and before you start and then realize and feel like a failure because it's not taking off the way you thought it would because you were sold an absolute dream, here are the facts you need to know. So you prepare yourself so that in those moments you can say, it's okay, like, this is a process. It's a significant investment of time and energy, and learn it's going to take a while to get there. So like, to tackle those feelings of failure. On the flip side, for you to have all the information you need in the first place to decide if you even want to start, you know? And I guess that if you are a creator who is new to the space, or, you know, is establishing themselves and is feeling really downbeat, and maybe you've watched this episode and you're thinking, I don't know if I've got what it takes, or I don't know if I if this really is what I want to do. Number one, there's no failure in that. There's no failure in trying something and it not working, or it not being what you wanted it to be. The failure would be to never try something you want to do, or to stay in something you know is wrong for you a moment longer. Or actually, maybe you'll watch this and thinking, do you know what, you're right, like, it was a lot harder than I thought, but it's good to, but of course running a business is hard, and hopefully it's kind of reassured you a bit that like you can do hard things, and of course you're running a business, like, you're doing something really significant and brave and challenging, and it's going to feel hard sometimes, but it always feels hard just before it gets good. So keep going. If this is what you want to do, and you're confident in your ability to do it, and you're confident that you want to do it, keep going. It's meant to be hard. You're building something great.
I feel like if you've watched this episode and you still want to do it, there shouldn't be any other harsh truths out there for you to discover. I think we have covered pretty much everything.
And if we've forgotten any, put them in the comments.
If you've got any like experiences that you want to share or anything in the comments, we just want everyone's experience to be like, UGC it's an amazing job. It really is. We are so privileged. It is such an incredible position to be in. So like, if you can get past the hurdles at the beginning where it's not as easy as you thought it was going to be, you are good at it, blah 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 blah, like, it is such a beautiful space to be. And also, like, if you want to do it, like, that's all I ever say to anyone. Like, if you want to do this, then do it. But we just want you to be able to go in with your eyes wide open like there's nothing waiting around a corner to like throw you off or anything like that. Like we hope to have prepared you almost in this episode. Whether, like Aimee says, if you're literally just starting out and kind of figuring out if this is what you want to do, or if you are, say, 4 months down the line and you're thinking this is not what I thought it was going to be, hopefully we've ironed some things out, because I would say the positives outweigh the negatives. We just obviously want you to be aware that there are some negatives. It's not all sunshine and rainbows.
And that's everything in life, right?
Yeah.
Nothing worth having comes easy. Trust me to bring a bloody emotional quote into it, but nothing worth having comes easy. And you can do hard things.
Yeah.
I feel like this was a lot longer an episode than we probably anticipated it to be, but as always, we really hope that you found it helpful. If you know someone who's wanting to get into UGC, or you know someone who's starting it and is finding it a little bit challenging, maybe send them this episode. It might be helpful. We hope it will be. And as always, any questions, any requests for us to go into anything that we've spoken about today a little bit deeper, please just let us know. You can DM us at The Real Edit Podcast on Instagram. You can comment on this video. You can comment on our Spotify. You can send us DMs privately. Whatever you need, we are here. And as always, there's only one thing left to say. Love you, bye.